Hello.
Hello there.
Hello. So today we are at Cedarbrook. Would it can be considered a retirement home?
Well, it's actually Cedarbrook Senior Care and Rehabilitation.
Okay.
So
So
it's a place to if you need to have a place to live, but you can also come and rehabilitate and go back home. It depends on your
your needs,
condition.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. My name is Eric Rodriguez, and I'm joined here today with.
Jean Larison.
Awesome. This is something that's been in the making for some time. So I want to thank you for volunteering to come and talk with me, and for the people that are going to be seeing this.
I'm always up for new things.
That's what I'm talking about. Gene, how old are you?
I'm 87.
87. A lot of life lived.
Yeah, a lot of life, but it's been a fun life. I was married 58 and a half years.
Oh, wow.
And I guess my hubby figured if he wanted to get out, he'd have to die. That was the only way I was going to let him go.
That's beautiful, though. You said 58 years.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm 13 years in, and that's the only way I'm getting out of it, too. So.
Yeah, you have to enjoy. I mean, it's just so much fun. And we did everything together.
That's beautiful.
I had a Girl Scout troop, and it got to the point where when we went on a trip, everybody wanted to go with Mr. Bill. I had to keep a list so that somebody didn't get to go a second time before somebody else.
Somebody else. Is your husband Mr. Bill?
That was Mr. Bill.
That was Mr. Bill.
So, but he just had the girls all in stitches. And I know the one thing that really was fun, we went to camp, and on the way into camp, there were cows at the road by the fence.
Yes.
And he stopped the car and he mooed at the cow.
Boo.
The cow looked up and mooed back. I thought those little girls were going to have a fit, but these are the things he did. And so he was very popular.
Brought a lot of joy to
Yeah.
people. That's
And
beautiful.
when I worked here, we took one of the fellas to the races at Dorney every Saturday night.
They had races at Dorney?
Oh, yeah. They had a nice racetrack. Yeah, up where the water park is now.
Okay. Oh, that's before my time.
Yeah, that's when there was a road through Dorney. There was a cop, a live man that had a little turn signal, and he would stop and go the traffic that were going through the park so you could cross.
Safely.
And it was down by the roller coaster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Jean, where were you born at?
I was born right here in Allentown at Sacred Heart.
Oh, wow.
And that was in 1936.
1930.
So,
wow.
And my mother spent 21 days in the hospital when I was born. So now think of how fast you get shoved out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21 days. Wow. And Allentown, I was born in Allentown as well. My mom actually started to have me out on Emmaus Avenue where the Giant is.
Okay.
She's at the bus stop. She tried to catch a bus to the hospital. So we did make it to the hospital. We made it to Lehigh Valley on 17th Street, but it was close.
Yeah, I guess it was close.
Oh, that's a lot of life you lived. And I mean, we were just talking off camera, and you want to go skydiving. So
yes,
there's still a
that's
whole
right.
lot more life to live.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just, to me, age is a number, and it doesn't matter. It's just how you think of it. And I just live each day as it comes. I live by the Serenity Prayer, and I just go with the flow.
Could you let the people know what the Serenity Prayer is?
The Serenity Prayer is how you live your life. You have to pick your battles, really. And with alcoholics and with druggies, they say that prayer at the end of each meeting. And it really does make you have to know what's best for you, and you choose the right way. And it just keeps you going.
It sounds like a great way to always be mindful of
Right.
yourself and who you are as a person and trying to be true to that.
Right.
That's a beautiful way. So was that always something for you? Like just trying like the serenity prayer, living according to that? Or was that something
Well,
that came along during the
no, it was after right when I got married. My daughter in 1981 made a copy of the Serenity Prayer, and I have it hanging in my room now up above my bed.
Mhm.
She did it in embroidery.
Wow.
And I mean, it's something that you look at day after day. And my grandson, when he got messed up with drugs and he went to a group called Visions
Hmm.
here in Allentown, and his mother didn't want to go, but the kids all had parents that went. So I said, well, find out if your grandmother can go.
Yes.
And they said, absolutely. Well, it was fine. I fit in very well until we took baby pictures. And when we took baby pictures, then we passed them around
Uh-huh.
to see if you could tell who was who. I was the only one with the black and white picture. Everybody else had color. So I was really noticed very well.
Wow. Oh, what was it like growing up for you? That you said 1936, but I know in America at that time, life looked totally different from today.
Right. It was, I mean, I went through the little points that you got, the war points, the stamps, the sugar. Uh, you had to have so many points to get sugar.
Oh, this is when they were like making rations and
Yes,
stuff.
the air raids. We used to have the blackout air raids. And my mother was one of the ladies that went around and knocked on doors and told you to turn your lights out. My grandfather, they had a billy club and a helmet. I mean, it
They
was,
they did those things here in Pennsylvania.
oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that was only like a West Coast thing
No, my
because
daddy and I would sit on one chair in the living room and watch out, but you couldn't see anything. Everything was blacked out. And I mean, we had air raid when the sirens went off. You would just automatically shut everything down.
how did that like affect you as a child?
It was kind of scary because you don't really know. You know it's a drill,
Hmm.
but you still have that fear of the planes. And I know growing up, I was not able to look up, like to see the bottom of a plane. And I think it had something to do with the drills and everything because I could see those bombs coming out of the plane. And yet we were safe,
Yeah.
you know. But it was, and things were so reasonable. But my parents
Hmm.
were older than most of my friends because I used to ask my mother, why are you so old when all my friends' mothers are so young?
Hmm.
But I was born when mother was 36 and daddy was 40.
Oh, they had kids late.
I had two brothers who were, one was stillborn and the other one was born a hunchback. And then they didn't have everything they do now.
Yeah.
And so both my brothers passed away. So I was the only child, and I never ever had a babysitter because mother and daddy took me everywhere they went.
Did you grow like to not like that anymore, or did you love it?
Well, it was different, and that was how I met my husband
Wow.
because he we went to Avona Heights in Easton,
Hmm.
and they went square dancing. So I had to go along square dancing, and there were no kids there. I was the only one.
Yes.
But then in the spring, when they opened up the firehouse doors, took the truck out, they left the doors open because we didn't have air conditioning either. And the neighborhood kids start coming around. And that was how I met him. I was 12 and he was 15.
Wow.
And we ended up, we had a square set of our own because there were enough kids there. And we had a ball and you look forward to it. And then when we got married, we had the same band and figure collar, and we had
from when you were kids.
Yeah, we had square dancing
Wow.
at our wedding reception
That's
with that
awesome.
same figure collar.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so
When did you guys get married? Well, start dating and get married.
well, we actually didn't date because he lived in Easton, I lived in Bethlehem,
Mm-hmm.
and we went down there on a Saturday night, but it was just one of those things that, I didn't see him during the week. But my mother really liked him. So my daddy went to lodge on a Thursday night and he could get the bus and come up and visit while daddy was at lodge.
Oh, okay.
And,
Daddy
well,
didn't play that.
daddy didn't know.
Oh, daddy did.
Daddy didn't know. But we got married. We got engaged the day that I graduated from high school.
Wow.
And then we got married I graduated in 54, and we got married in 56.
Wow. So you married your high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
that's
not really
incredible.
high school sweetheart because
No?
he went to Easton, and he was a trickster.
He was-
But then when we were married 25 years, we got remarried. And as everything else, he had a watch that played Dixie.
I
And
have
in
no
the
clue who
middle
Dixie
of
is.
this, that's just an old song.
I go, okay.
But it marched, it was like a march. In the middle of the ceremony, his watch went off and played Dixie, and everybody was cracking up. I mean, these are the things that, because he taught our kids to talk backwards.
To talk backwards.
Well, like cham clouder instead of
Clam chowder.
And when I go to say, I went over to Holy Family Manor to give a little talk about Project Linus. Can't say Holy Family Manor
He's still
without
doing it.
thinking. Yeah, but I can tell you, Holy Family Manor
Oh,
real
yeah.
fast. So, I mean, he was a big jokester.
He sounded like a joy.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Did that sometimes like get on your nerves? Because
Yeah, because I lived it 24/7. So
it's beautiful though, because here we sit and you have all these things that you can say about them, and at the moment,
Right.
they play out at the moment how they play out, but
Right.
all these years later, he still makes you laugh.
he does, and I'll lay in bed at night and I'll start thinking about him, and before long I had the giggles because the life just rolled on, and he just was a lot. And like I said, he was very active with me in the Girl Scouts, and another part of our life was going to Dorney to the races. Another part, we went fishing down at the shore.
Are you good at fishing?
Well, I was better at filleting because he was the one that caught all the fish.
I'm so afraid of, I don't know why, but I'm a little afraid of like certain textures. I don't like touching like fish, like they slimy and stuff.
Well, the one year we went down for a week, and I said to him one day, I said, please don't catch another fluke. I said, because I'm tired of filleting. But when we came home, they flash froze them for us at the pier. And then when we came home, they were frozen, and we just stuck them right in the freezer. And that was good eating.
Good eating.
Yeah.
I took him fishing. It was the second time, but it was the first time we caught something. Took him and my other son fishing, and he caught 4 of them. Well, nobody else really. Well, a friend of mine caught 2, but he caught 4. He was the only one of us that caught something.
Well, my grandson takes my great grandson fishing, and he'll say to him, "What do you want to do this weekend?" So he either wants to go fishing, camping, or herping.
What's herping?
Herping is hunting snakes in the wild.
Oh no, that's crazy.
They're really big into snakes. Yes.
Leave me out of it.
My great grandson sleeps with a bearded dragon.
Oh, we have 2 at my house.
Oh, do you have
Yeah,
bearded
my daughter
dragons?
loves them.
They are really,
They're cool animals.
yeah.
They're very low maintenance too.
So.
Are you okay over there? Okay. There's still water if you need it, okay? All right. So if you don't mind me asking, so what year did your husband transition?
2014,
Oh,
July
okay.
2nd.
July
So
2nd of
yeah, it
2014.
was 10 years this past July.
Wow.
So, but there again, I couldn't cry. He was he was in pain, and I felt it was for his good to go,
Hmm.
and it was fine.
That's beautiful that you
Yeah,
you didn't want him to suffer.
but I talk to him all the time. I really do. I talk to him all the time. And my one roommate, she said, I wish I would have known him. He sounds like fun.
He does. He sounds like he brings a lot of laugh and great energy.
Yeah. So, but like I said, we cleaned together. We did the lawn work together. So it was the only thing he worked middle shift. And that was kind of rough because you can't tell your kids if they've done something wrong on a Monday. When your dad sees you on Saturday, look
Yeah,
out.
right.
So mom comes the disciplinarian. So
That does sound tough. I used to be a truck driver, and I realized that it was tough on my wife at home, just managing things. And money's great, but
yeah.
the time that you have with the family is far more important than any amount of money.
Well, when I was young, my mother didn't. I was not allowed to have pets.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't have a dog or anything. And with my husband working middle shift and my kids were on their own, I went out and got myself a pair of rats. And I had a pair of rats that they were fun.
Pet rats.
They are everybody goes, ugh.
Uh,
It's the tail I think that gets them
Gross
on,
people out.
but they are really neat pets.
We have a neighbor that just moved in a couple months ago, and she had two pet rats, and one of them was named Fred. And I come outside the one day. Now my wife is kind of squirmish for like little mice and things like that. I come outside and she's holding this rat from head to tail. It's about a foot and a half long. Like, it's a pretty big animal. And she's like, Eric, I want one. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not bringing
That sounds almost like that was a not a tame rat. That sounds more
It was
like
actually
a
it was
sore rat. Really.
it was too big for me. I've only ever really seen mice from when I
Well,
grew up and things of
when
that
I
nature.
worked here, that's when I got my rats. And our housekeeping, a man and wife that worked on our floor was Tony and Angie. And so I named my rats after them. And they were fun, but not near as much as the ones that my granddaughter had because you don't want to get a male because they get kind of nasty. The females are great and they nuzzle in your ear. They are so sweet and they are very smart.
They are
Really,
they
they
are very
are
smart
very
animals.
smart.
Yes. Yes, they are.
And they used to box the two that we had.
They stand up on
They'd
two
stand on
legs.
their behind legs and they would box. And one night, my granddaughter and I were sitting there, and I start giving a commentary
Oh,
on the rats. Well, we were laughing so hard, but the more you laughed, the more they boxed.
really?
They were.
Or they're giving you a show?
Yeah, oh yeah. They were fun. They were a lot of fun.
Oh,
And they were nibbles and tibbles.
nibbles and tibbles.
Nibbles and tibbles.
That's funny.
So
I know that they have a very small, like a short lifespan, like about 2 to 3 years.
yeah, and that's what's hard when you lose them. So, but they're a lot of fun.
Oh, that's different. You're the second person I've ever met that had a pet rat.
Oh yeah.
I could never do it. I
And
just
then you get those little balls and put the clear balls and you put them in.
and they run
all
around
over the house.
That seems entertaining.
Yeah, that.
So with all the years, with all the life you've lived, having a husband of 58 years, having a lasting marriage, what do you think the most important part is to have something like that for people? Because today's generation, about a little over 50% of all marriages end in divorce today.
You have to have faith. you not only faith in the Lord, but you have to have faith in your marriage. I, when he was 50, I hired him a stripper for his birthday, and we had a surprise party.
I
And
like Gene.
he had a surprise party, and it was so funny because I made him help. We were helping to. We made the potato salad and everything, and he said, "Why are we doing this?" I said, "I told you, Debbie's friend is having a party at the club, and she asked if Debbie would help." He said, "Well, I hope she's a good friend because this is a lot of work."
Work.
And my son had come home from the Air Force, and he was running around getting the beer tubs and things.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law was helping with the, and
It's a family
so
affair.
yeah, it was. And he said, "I hope I get to meet this lady." And I said, "Oh, you will." Well, we had to take all the food we made to the club, and I said, "The kids are taking us out for your birthday." And so we took the stuff down to the club, and we walked in, and we have pictures of him walking in carrying this big pot of beans. Nobody
Not a
said
clue.
surprise. Everybody just sat there, and he looked at the one. He said, "Gee, I know people she knows." Then he looked the other way, and it was all our friends from down at the fishing pier. Then he realized it was for him. And then I had the barber that worked here. Had it was Joe Wolfer from Northampton. He had a polka band, so I had him and his drummer. They never even played Happy Birthday when he walked in, but it was funny. And then the stripper got there early, and was so used. I said he's used to taking orders, so he did things that were not what I judge him to do. Here, while she's dancing for him, she's talking to him, telling him what to do, and he did it. And he just did everything she said. And I have his album upstairs of all the pictures that we took.
Oh, that sounds
And
awesome.
the girls, when they talk about their husbands, I say, "Well, you should see what I did for mine." We bring this book out. I would never do that. I wouldn't be able to trust my husband. And I said, that's where, I mean, the gal that was dancing, her name was Tangerine. And she would look over at me and I just smile. I thought, I paid $50 for you, give him his jollies. And it was so nice. And afterwards, she said, I've danced for many, many people, but she said, this was actually fun for me. She said, because nobody was whistling and carrying on. I said, you got to remember, they're all over 50.
Yeah.
But
You sound like an awesome wife.
it was just a really fun time. So
That's beautiful. And you say you have a photo album of all the
yeah,
pictures.
I have an album upstairs. And then our kids had a 50th anniversary party for us, and my daughter made a scrapbook of it, and it took her one whole year. But I have that upstairs too, and I'll go through that, and there's so many things. It's just fun.
That's awesome.
So
That
a lot
is
of
awesome.
memories.
Yeah.
And you don't need pictures. I mean, I'm telling you this, and I'm seeing these albums and everything right here in front of me. So
That's beautiful. That is so
and
beautiful.
then I did a lot of volunteering too. And I took my daughter with me. I wanted to show her how nice it was to get. So we went on a March of Dimes. And the first four houses we got the door slammed in our face. And I thought, this isn't good.
Yeah.
So the next house, the man said, I'm here. We're marching for dimes, for the March of Dimes. He said, oh, wait a minute. And now I'm all happy.
Yeah.
And I'm explaining to her about this. He comes back and he said, here's a dime. Now go march. So that didn't work out too well.
It's better to get your door slammed, but it's
Yeah.
almost not that much better.
It was really, but
Volunteer work is its own thing. Like you never know how it's gonna play out. I try to
no,
do
you
things like that
don't.
with my kids too, where
Yeah, and you want them to know
that it's important to
it's
give back.
right to
Yeah.
give back. And but I used to go with the church to the state hospital too. And it was funny because I didn't like standing and actually talking down to the ladies that were sitting on the bench.
Hmm.
So I would sit alongside, and they would come up, the different ladies from other churches would come up,
Yes.
would you like a cookie? And when I'd say no, thank you, oh, I'm sorry. They didn't realize, they figured because I'm sitting on the bench, I was one of them. So, but I mean, I went with the church for a long while, and then I got pregnant with my son, and then at that time we were working with the men, and that was nice too because we played cards, and we would
What's
dance.
your favorite card game?
Pinochle.
I don't know how to play Pinochle. I was hoping you were gonna say 21. I was gonna say next time I come, I'll bring some cards.
Pinochle. We used to play Pinochle a lot.
I hear you guys have some pretty good card games upstairs and
Yeah,
stuff.
but they don't they don't seem to want to do it, or they've forgotten. And the ones who play Pinochle are willing to teach
Mhm.
anybody.
Ooh.
If you haven't played before, you can learn, or some have to relearn. And but
I'll talk with Carrie about coming
yeah,
here on the day where you guys are just freelancing.
yeah.
Come play some cards with you guys.
Then they just started a domino thing,
Ooh.
but I don't have a lot of time to do that because I'm president of the resident council. I'm president of the auxiliary,
Wow.
and the auxiliary takes a lot of time.
I feel special now.
So, oh,
I feel very
and I
special.
have 4 votes for presidential election.
Hey.
They were teasing because I came back the other day and they said something about I should run for president of the United States. I said, I got 4 votes coming. So,
Hey. I think you probably could do a better job than what we've had over the past couple of
oh, we
years.
need help. We need help badly.
If you had any advice for your younger self, say you get in the time capsule and you get one piece of advice to give to younger Gene, what would you say?
I think what younger Gene should have known was to be a little more frugal. We did a lot of vacationing, and I think it was important. And sometimes we went by bus and did a bus trip, and other times we would just drive. But I think we should have put some of that money aside for our older age because the money doesn't reach each as the older you get, the more expensive things get.
Yeah.
And I think we should have really cracked down the money. But then we wouldn't have had all the vacations we
All the
did.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, because we flew a paper airplane off the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And we went to Paris, and then we went to Italy because I wanted a gondola ride. And we went to Austria, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein. And we had supper in a dungeon.
Austria is on my bucket list. I have a
Is
vision
it?
board at home and Austria's there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, where else? Oh, we went to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam's on there
Oh
too.
yeah, you got to go to the red light district.
You're-
That was we made sure we did everything that. So
You didn't get to plan for the future as much as you probably wanted to, but it sounds like you had some great
right
experiences.
we kind of lived it as we went along.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, like I said,
with
I
the
still
flow.
go with the flow, and I'm still broke. I mean, skydiving isn't the cheapest,
No.
and my first tattoo that was okay, but now I want another one.
She got her first tattoo in here. You say now you want another one.
Yeah, one for here with my grandkids.
Oh, I have one. I'm in no rush to go back.
It didn't hurt.
it was annoying. It was more annoying than anything. It just feels like you're getting pinched a million
Oh,
times. Like,
see now, maybe how long do you have that?
uh, I want to say maybe 5 years.
Oh, things are. You know what it felt like?
What?
That he had a pen and was drawing on my arm.
Wow.
All,
You have
all
a
you
great pain
felt,
tolerance.
yeah. All you felt was my grandson said it's. He asked me if he used a corded or a cordless, and he used a cordless, and they say that's not near.
It's not as bad as the corded
No,
ones.
the corded ones.
The technology today is
and
impeccable.
and we went over to Eval in Catasauqua, and it
Okay.
they were really he was so great, and it was a Danny that did, and he was super.
Big shout out to Danny.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
real big shout out to Danny, because he did a fantastic
Did a great job.
And I've sent a lot of people. I mean, I've got business cards to give to people so that they could, because first of all, they tell me that my tattoo is not real, that it's one of the fake ones.
You tell 'em.
And that's because because it's so perfect. He did a fantastic job.
That was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, her tattoo's in really good shape for it to be old.
Yeah.
And then when you guys say, oh no, this is fairly recent. I'm
Yeah,
like, wow.
March 27th,
March 27th.
1:00. That was it. And I rolled right in there and right up to the chair. I was first to have it done, because there was another man, Matt, that went and had, but he had 10 other tattoos. So
It was a kind of a normalcy for
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
but
That's
this
awesome.
And everybody kept saying, "You're not going to do it."
So that's your first tattoo.
That's the first.
You waited to 87 to get your
Yeah.
first tattoo. That is incredible. You're never too
You're never too
old to try
do,
new things.
Right, whatever you want to do.
That's awesome.
We had a lady here that was 95, and she wanted to drive a race car. And she did. They took her up to the Poconos, and she drove
The raceway.
Yeah. And she said the toughest thing was getting in the darn old window. that was,
Oh yeah, they don't open the doors.
Nope. The doors are they're
like welded, right?
Yeah, they're welded shut.
Oh wow.
So she had to crawl in the window.
She got the full experience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome though. I love that they give you guys an opportunity to like still get out and do things and try new things.
We go to the Phantoms,
to the hockey games.
yeah. And we go to the Iron Pigs. It's a
I hear your
great
Christmas
place to
party's
be.
pretty cool here too.
Yeah.
Carrie was telling me how they put the employees in antlers and you guys went deer hunting.
Oh, that
With
was
Nerf guns.
this was the first year we did this, and it was fun.
It was fun.
They took all the trees that were all through the facility and had them in there.
Oh, that sounds
And then
awesome.
they had even Jason, our administrator, he had a target. And when he saw me there, he says, "Oh, I know who's going after
Yeah.
me." One shot and I downed him. It was so neat. And there's this man who's supposed to be he's our chief.
Yeah.
And he fell down on his back and all four limbs up in
Up
the air in a suit and tie.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
This is a great place to be. It really is. I mean, I worked here, so I know, for $2 an hour, I started
What year was that?
in 1972.
1972.
Then I worked here till 89, and then I thought I wanted to change, so I went to the prison, and
What was that experience like working with the elders and then going into a county prison system?
it was nothing for me. My husband was kind of scary about it. He was more afraid. I had no fear, but you treat them like you want to be treated. And I get on the elevator with 6 guys and didn't think anything of it. I mean, it was different than here, but I mean, they were very respectful, and you treat them like you want to be treated, and you're fine. Wow. So
How long did you do that for?
I went there in 89 and I retired in 95.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah. So it was very different from here. And it was really funny because you found out that there's nobody does anything wrong.
Everybody's innocent.
Everybody's innocent.
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you have any advice for this next generation? Anything that they think could be useful?
For the next generation.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to realize that life is not easy, and you can do it and enjoy life, but you also have to prepare for your elder years because this is important. And if you don't know what it's going to be. When I worked here and I was here when they built the D wing, and we picked fun things. We picked where we were going to live, and I picked 705D because I was going to lay in bed and watch the fireworks at Dorney Park. So that was my choice. So I mean, you got to make things fun, and you don't know what the future holds for you. You don't know how your life is going to end. And if you do have to come to a home, don't be negative about it. Think positive, because it is I mean, and then Cedarbrook has it above a lot of other places though. I mean, we have a great group here. And when I worked here, we didn't have life enrichment. We had a thing called motivation therapy. And you had to take a class and then you could do it. And I brought a whole bunch of snakes in for the men on B3.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, the men loved it, but the aides didn't want to come near.
Yeah, I bet.
But now we have so many programs and so many nice things to do. And like I said, that deer hunting, that was, in my book, that was tops. Because I had seen it on at some other place. It was on TV.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I wish we'd
I would
do
do
that.
something like that.
And my wish came true.
Did you make the suggestion or no?
No, I didn't, but I think somebody else did. And it was the most
It went over
fun.
really well.
And that's something I think we'll have every year, won't we, Jen?
Yeah.
That was, I mean, but our life enrichment group has really come a long way. Since it started, because
Yeah.
I've been here 9 years now.
I have a question. Did you get room 705D?
No, I
No.
don't want it.
You don't want it?
No, I didn't want to be. I've got the best room in the house, I swear.
Can you see the fireworks?
I can sit at the bottom of my bed, but I don't. I go outside. I want to go outside.
That's awesome.
And watch them. And now that they cut down all the trees, you can really
See it all. Did they do that for the construction that's coming?
Yeah, for the construction.
So when that's up, are you going to still be able to see it?
Well, we get new trees. They have to replace all the trees. But let's face it, they're not going to be that big when I leave here.
They take time to grow.
Yeah, they do. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to thank you for volunteering for this. It's been a delight talking with you for the past hour and some change. I do want to let the people know she's hoping to go skydiving, and I volunteered to go with you. I'm serious about it. So if you're capable, when you're capable.
Well, they gave me
ready to
permission.
go.
I have permission. I just need to get the money. That's it.
Okay.
But then I'm ready.
All right.
So
you have a partner in me.
okay, that sounds good.
We'll go. I'm serious.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that sounds real good.
Thank you.
And thanks for having me.
Oh, of course.
It was fun.
Yeah, this was a delight.
This was another first. I ever thought about a podcast. Didn't know what it was, but I said yes.
I think you're gonna be a fan favorite. People are gonna love it. I really do think so. But yes, thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your story with us, being vulnerable and everything. And of course, giving advice to the people that are going to be coming after you, after myself, because your life experience is something that you're not getting anywhere else. Our history books aren't the same. A lot of it's whitewashed. The news
Right.
is unreliable. But these stories of how to make a 58-year marriage last, you're not getting that unless you talk to somebody who's done it, who
The
successfully did it.
girls will often say, "What did you do?" And I don't think we did anything special. I mean, it was just, of
Are
course, it
you?
was a lot of togetherness.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's special because
That
it's very
yeah.
easy to walk. It's very easy
Yeah.
when the going gets tough to just say, yeah, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
I don't need to argue or anything like that. But
Right. And that's not it. You got to work through the problems. And you never ever go to bed angry.
never go to
Never.
bed angry.
You never go to bed angry. You must always straighten out before you go for the night.
I could take that advice. I went to bed upset before. I didn't wake up in the greatest mood either, so makes
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
sense.
you always, always settle anything that bothers you because there's always a solution.
Mhm. You just got to
Yeah.
be willing to meet halfway.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes. You said crying is going the best way.
What did he say?
He said crying is the best way to go to sleep because you go to sleep faster. And you're
Oh, it was a joy meeting your son too.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. This was
been fun.
awesome. I can't wait to come back. I want to say thank you to you and Carrie as well, for giving me the opportunity to come in here and talk with some of the residents. Um, yeah, and I hope we get to do many more because this was an
It
absolute
was
joy.
fun. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Mike.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mike.
Maybe you can share your experience with some of your peers, and then they can also say, "Oh, yeah, maybe I would like to do that," because not many people know what a podcast is.
I didn't. But when Carrie said, "Would you do it?" I said, "I don't even know what it is, but yeah."
For sure, and that's just the person you are, because that's
Yeah.
being it.
Yeah, she's like, I talk to everyone, so you're perfect candidate. And she's involved in everything.
And, I have about 6 new friends, all Citronia ambulance drivers, because I've been going back.
So much.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can tell everyone else, all the other residents and your friends, like what it's all about, and see if they would like to share their life story or whatever questions that you prompt
Hmm.
with.
yeah,
I think that would be a really neat thing to do.
yeah, because
I
it.
can't wait to hear it. Like, not like in person, but I can't wait to hear
Yeah,
it.
to watch it and everything. It's
So
a
now,
it's quite an
yeah,
experience.
now
You might
how?
even make yourself laugh.
Yeah,
I listen to my
yeah.
shows sometimes, and I crack myself up like I don't even remember saying that, but
Right.